Ah, Mitra, I suspected you would make an appearance before long, and I presume this fine gentleman is the new summoner I've heard so much about. Yes, hopefully the first of many. Now, pray, tell me, Rambros, has the discovery of Allagan made evoker's attire been confirmed? It has. Truly a historical find. Then I would ask a boon of you, my friend. You recall the predicament of which I spoke? Our chances of survival would be greatly improved if you would consider allowing Arten to wear the Allagan garments. Well, he is a summoner after all, and I must confess to no small degree of scholarly curiosity as to the effect the attire will have on one with the appropriate training. These finds are, however, the result of much sweat and even a few tears on the part of our excavation team. 'Tis a frustrating task at times, and I fear they will be loath to part with the garments without some measure of recompense for their efforts. Allow me, though, to offer a solution. Metallic monstrosities of Allagan construction known as mirror knights have risen from the dig sites scattered across Mordona. Needless to say, they pose a dangerous threat to our excavators. I suggest you speak with my 3 field researchers and dispose of any such nasty hindrances to their work. I dare say they will then gladly surrender the pieces of the attire that they hold. Once I have confirmed our dig site suitably empty of armored horrors, I will see you rewarded with the garment that I myself recovered from the ruins. A mirror knight lurks just over yonder. I can scarce think straight with that thing wandering about. Oh gods, it approaches. Phew, you have my thanks. Now I might finally be able to concentrate on my tasks. If I'm not mistaken, you are in search of the evoker's attire? I have one of its wondrous pieces right here. You're most welcome to it. Praise the gods! Rambo said an adventurer would be along. Please, you must destroy that horrid construction. Thank you for eliminating the source of my recent nightmares. I do not ordinarily stutter so, you see, but abject terror has that effect on folk. Now, I hear from Amitra that you have need of this Allagan garment. I should be glad to see it put to practical use rather than shut away in some dusty vault. Mirror Knights? Yes, they have become quite bothersome. I would be most appreciative were you to eliminate the creaking pest that has been plaguing me of late. fascinating. I never thought I would be fortunate enough to observe a conflict against an Alagon construction at such close quarters. This has been a deeply enriching experience. If the price is to be my piece of the evoker's attire, then so be it. Ah, the champion of my researchers returns. With the ruins now free of mirror knights, the excavations can proceed at a far more satisfying pace. Trembling in fear for one's life makes it astonishingly difficult to handle ancient artifacts that have a tendency to crumble into dust. You have performed a valuable duty for us, Arton. As promised, you shall have the summoner's garment uncovered by my own hand as your reward. Ah yes, Imitra mentioned she would await you at Apkalu Falls. It seems there was no doubt in her mind that you would succeed here. So, this is how the summoners of old were clad. Well, more or less. It is unfortunate that the ruins have yet to surrender the final piece to the suns. These garments, aside from the coloring, they are identical to the garb Tristan wore. He will find no edge against you through his equipment. When you next face that murderous cad, victory will be decided purely by who is the more talented summoner. To that end, it is time you drew on your experience of defeating the primal Garuda. Yes, her aura of fickle violence is palpable upon you. It is daunting to imagine an Eggy born of the Lady of the Vortex. Such unpredictable ferocity should serve you well. I will search for a suitably airy location in which to perform the austerities of wind. You, my dear summoner, must needs prepare your body and mind for the trials ahead. I shall be waiting. I sense Garuda's restless essence railing within the confines of your etheric channels. It is time we granted it release with the austerities of wind. Thankfully, I already have in mind a location that well suits our elemental purposes. You are familiar with the floating city of Nim in Outer Lanaska? As you might imagine, the aspect of wind is entirely dominant in the area of those suspended isles. Pray, make your way there as soon as you feel prepared. I am quite excited to see this new Eggy. Shall we begin? I assume that, as this is your third such experience, you have by now grown familiar with the steps of the ritual. Thus, as before, I would have you concentrate on shifting your etheric balance. Imagine the energy within you howling through your veins, an incessant gale of screeching wrath. Garuda's essence will be only too eager to harness those raging currents and shape them into a worldly avatar. Once Garuda Eggy has appeared, it falls to you to tame its fury. Masterfully done, Artin. Garuda Eggi's power is now yours to wield. Your aptitude for the art of summoning has exceeded my highest expectations. I honestly could not have found a more valuable partner for my research. Let us return to Apkalu Falls. I am sure you must be exhausted after this ordeal. With the addition of a Garuda Eggi, you now command 3 powerful avatars. As you have no doubt realized, however, each of these entities has a particular role in which it excels. For Garuda Eggi, that role is unleashing magic to strike down distant foes. I must admit to feeling equal parts joy and apprehension at how faithfully the summoned being displays the original primal's volatile disposition. Experiment with your Eggi allies, and the most effective use of their individual abilities will soon become clear. With such mastery of the art at your disposal, I shall almost pity Tristan when next he chooses to confront you. Before that time comes, however, I will endeavor to pierce the mystery of his motivations. May your discoveries bring you new confidence, Artin. Hello there. Come to collect a mammoth heart, you say? Then you must be here on behalf of Garland Ironworks. I've taken the liberty of picking the finest example we have, a heart fit for a prince among mammoths. Payment? Oh, that won't be necessary. The heart is for Master Alphinode's personal use, after all. He notified us a short while ago that his manservant would be coming to collect it. Tender in years though he may be, Master Alphino has been a benefactor of ours since my predecessor's time. The Goldsmiths Guild wouldn't dream of charging him. But here's the mammoth heart. May it serve you well. Oh, and please do pass on my compliments to your master. Want to go in? It hardly needs saying, but try not to be seen. Do you have the mammoth heart? I can't wait to see if it works. Hurrah! Thank you so much. Oh, but this is magnificent. It must have cost an emperor's ransom. Free of charge, courtesy of Alphino. Coming from an influential family certainly has its advantages. But without further ado, let's give it a try. I've already modified the housing unit, so it should slot right in. There, she's ready. Magitech armor, engage! Or not. She just needs a loving tap, I'll wager. She's alive! Let's take her outside and put her through her paces. Arton, would you care to do the honors? Hop into the pilot's seat. We'll begin as soon as you're ready. First, I'd like you to try climbing that tangle of crystals yonder, as far up as you can go, if you please. Oh, and if for some reason you need to dismount, simply come back here and we'll start again. No anomalous movements evident from either leg. Good. Next, jump back down and then sprint north, quick as you can. Leg joints absorbing all impact without incident. Excellent. Please make your way back, Arton. The torso remains stable during vigorous motion. Excellent. And that concludes our test. Thank you for your cooperation. Here's a summary of my findings. The drivetrain is in sound condition. With some fine-tuning, we can expect a noticeable improvement in performance. As for the servo mechanism, I'm afraid it's not nearly as responsive as it should be, and I'm at a loss to explain why. The mammoth heart is in pristine condition and should be installed correctly. Perhaps its inner workings are simply too different to operate harmoniously with the armor's other mechanisms? Whereas Magitech cores serve only to conduct impulses, mammoth hearts enable automata to process the information collected by their sensors as feelings! Maybe she just doesn't feel like a part of the team? In which case, we should all do our best to make her feel welcome. Daft as it felt, I gave it my best. I've welcomed myself to a bloody standstill. What were you expecting it to do anyway? Bob us a curtsy? No doubt you're wondering why the servo mechanism is so important as to warrant this silliness. Without it, the pilot would be required to control the armor's every movement manually. This would be an onerous task at the best of times and wholly impractical during battle. Using a mammoth heart in place of the worn Magitech core seemed a promising solution. Alas, the device does not appear to be compatible with Garlean technology. Wedge, are there no other ways we might demonstrate our appreciation to our friend here? I'm at my wit's end, Chief. She just doesn't seem convinced. We could try a little dance, perhaps, or cheer our heads off? Imperials! They've come for the armor. Damn it, they have us cornered. There's the Reaper. Taken by the traitor Garland, and is that the Icon Slayer? Oh, bollocks. Call for reinforcements. The hells you will. We've located the stolen Reaper, requesting immediate assistance. Respond. Respond. It's no use, sir. There's some sort of interference. Curse you, Garland. No matter. If we can't reclaim it, destroy it. Bloody hells. Arton, protect the armor at all costs. Chief, look! She moved! Ah, now she deigns to grace us with her presence. It took us a good while, but we're finally ready. It's time to infiltrate Castrum Sentry and rescue our comrades. There, the finishing touch. The servo mechanism is now fully functional, and all it took was a simple fight to the death. Remind me not to install a Mammoth Heart aboard the Enterprise, would you? Much as I love her, I'd rather not be required to profess it before boarding. But enough of that. Let's see to our final preparations. Thanks to Biggs and Wedge, the Reaper is as good as new. We're as prepared as we're like to get. How go your preparations, Arton? We'll leave as soon as you're ready. Glaumont, you came. I thought I'd give you all a roaring send-off. 'Tis the least I can do for the fine men and women what are about to make my lifelong wish come true. Well, we'll do our best. It occurs to me, for all the help you've afforded us, we know little and less about you. What did the Empire do to earn your ire? But I fear I've put curiosity before consideration. I quite understand if you'd rather not relive those memories. No, I don't mind really. Truth be told, a part of me was itching to tell you my tale. Mind you, 'tis hardly novel. I ain't the first to suffer at Imperial hands. Like most folk, I used to have a mother. She was a sweet, caring woman with a smile never far from her face. There was a sister, too. Pretty little thing, she was. Gentle as a lamb, but tough as nails. We were poor folk, living simple lives, but we knew happiness just the same. And then the Imperials came and took it all away. When Alamigo fell, they put my family in a camp. Being a lad, I was made to do hard labor, while my mother and sister were forced to do far worse. They hid their suffering from me as best they could, but I knew, and the thought of it drove me mad. We had to escape, and so I hatched a plan to get us out of the city. We were picking our way around a gorge not far outside the walls when they caught up with us, and rather than allow themselves to be taken again, my mother and sister leapt over the edge before my very eyes. Heartbroken as I was, I didn't put up a fight when the Imperials clapped me in chains and dragged me back. 'Twas some years after that I escaped again, and that time I got away. I swore then that I'd get revenge on the Empire and became an adventurer so as to hone my skills and earn the coin I needed. But nigh on 2 decades have since gone by, and what have I achieved? Bugger all, that's what. Not like you lot. You ain't been here 10 minutes, and you've already done more than I managed in 10 bloody years. You give us too much credit, Glaumont. We seek only to rescue our friends. Well, what's more important than that? Any road, after you've got your friends back, you're planning on going after the Empire, and don't pretend you ain't. I've helped a few folk take on the Imperials over the years, and every time I have, it's helped stave off my appetite for revenge. But something tells me I won't be going hungry for a while, what with everything you've got planned. And you're sure that will satisfy you? If you wish to strike back at the Empire with your own hand, you need only say the word. We would be glad to have you with us. Tempting though your offer is, I'm afeard I must decline. I swore I'd get revenge on the Empire, 'tis true, but I've long since realized that the front lines are no place for a man like me. Aye, there's some would call me craven, but I prefer to think of myself as a realist. My talents lie in scheming, you see, not swordplay. Helping folk like you is how I can make the most difference. But that's quite enough storytelling for one day. Best not keep your friends waiting any longer. I'll be praying for your safety and success. May Rhalgr give you strength. Wherever the Empire goes, misery invariably follows in its wake. For the sake of all who call Eorzea home, we must put an end to Gaius's ambitions. But first, we have friends to rescue. Biggs, Wedge, and I will lie in wait east of Castrum Sentry, just outside the Stronghold's patrol perimeter. Join us when you're ready. Oh, and don't forget to wear your disguise, or this will be the shortest rescue mission in history.